Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Shoah, a landmark documentary by Claude Lanzmann. Over the course of 2 Sundays, we will witness one of the most powerful cinematic works ever made about the Holocaust, not through archival footage, but through the living testimony of survivors, witnesses, and even former perpetrators. The word Shoah is a Hebrew term meaning catastrophe or annihilation. It has come to represent the Holocaust specifically, the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany. Claude Lanzmann deliberately chose this word as the title of his film, rejecting the term Holocaust, which he felt had become too abstract or sanitized. With Shoah, he wanted to make the horror present, not as history to be passively remembered, but as a wound still open, still asking to be understood. This is not an easy film to watch, nor was it easy to make. It took Lanzmann over 11 years to complete, from 1974 to 1985. The film is constructed entirely from original interviews and on-location footage. There is no narration, no archival imagery, no dramatic reenactments. Only voices and faces, witnesses who carry the memory of what happened, and places that still hold the silence of what once was. You will hear from survivors who endured the ghettos, the death camps, and the impossible choices of the time. You will meet resistance fighters, train conductors, bystanders, and even SS officers, filmed sometimes with hidden cameras. Each testimony is detailed and deliberate. Lanzmann believed that only through patient, painstaking listening could we begin to grasp the magnitude of this crime against humanity. What makes Shoah especially powerful is its refusal to look away. It insists on confronting both the horror and the humanity of those involved. And it trusts the audience to engage with history, not as passive viewers, but as moral participants. To understand the enduring importance of Shoah, we must also place it within the broader effort to define and confront the crime it documents. During the Nuremberg trials in the immediate aftermath of World War II, prosecutors struggled to describe the scale and nature of Nazi atrocities. It was a Polish-Jewish lawyer named Raphael Lemkin who gave them the word they needed, genocide, a term he coined in 1944 to describe the coordinated attempt to annihilate an entire people. Lemkin's tireless advocacy helped shape the 1948 United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, the first time the international community codified such a crime. Yet, as Samantha Power documents in her Pulitzer Prize-winning book, A Problem from Hell, the world's moral awakening was incomplete. Again and again in the post-war decades, from Cambodia to Rwanda to Bosnia, governments hesitated to apply the word genocide, much less to act in the face of it. In this context, Shoah becomes more than a film about the past. It is a confrontation with the mechanisms of denial, the seductions of forgetting, and the human capacity for both cruelty and indifference. It reminds us that genocide is not inevitable. It is made possible when the world chooses silence over response, abstraction over witness. Since its premiere in 1985, Shoah has been hailed as one of the greatest documentary films ever made. It is included in the UNESCO Memory of the World Register, and it continues to be shown and studied around the globe. The restoration you'll be seeing today honors Lanzmann's original 16mm negative and sound archive, preserving the integrity of his work for future generations. Because of the film's length, over 9 hours, we will be presenting it in 4 parts over 2 Sundays. We invite you to stay with the film even when it becomes difficult, and it will. But this act of witnessing is part of remembrance, and remembrance is itself an act of resistance against forgetting, against denial, and against the repetition of such atrocities. As Lanzmann once said, Shoah is not a documentary, it is an incarnation. It is not about the past, it is about what lives on in memory, in testimony, and in conscience. Thank you for being here. Let us begin.